Hey everyone, John from Nintendo Life here, and today we're finally reviewing No More Heroes 3 for Nintendo Switch. But these will not be my thoughts and opinions, as the original review was written by Stuart Jipp for NintendoLife.com and was adapted to video by me. Anyway, let's get this show on the road.
Damon, I love you!
Best friends forever, Foo.
It's certainly a relatively novel take on the whole E.T. thing. Cute little alien Foo returns to Earth 20 years after he was taken in and cared for by hapless Elliot-like Damon. But rather than having grown into any kind of altruistic, I'll be right here simpleton, Foo is now an irascible, bloodthirsty intergalactic prince. And with Damon's help, he's here to take over the planet. Now Travis Touchdown isn't having any of that, especially given Foo's propensity for hurting his friends. So it's once more into the lurid, deeply divisive breach as you plunge headfirst into a brand new, full-fledged No More Heroes experience. Far from the quarter measure of Travis Strikes Again, this is a masterfully drawn pint of gaming stout, though you may find there's a little bit of head on it. See, No More Heroes 3 has a bit of a timing problem. This is to say, the series is a joke. Now don't get upset, we don't mean it like the series is bad. We mean literally, the series is a joke. It's comedy, it's satire. We reviewed the first two games and we loved them, we get the joke, we enjoy the joke. The issue is there's only so many times you can appreciate even the wittiest bon mot before it begins to come off as stale, as hacky, and we fear this third outing may be a jape too far. That's all a matter of perspective, of course. The elements that make No More Heroes such an arresting series are all here. The challenging, hyperkinetic boss battles, the relatively menial volunteer jobs, the constant fourth wall breaks. It's just as shockingly violent in places too, if not more so, with Foo making things personal early on, leading to a sense of real and spectacular menace. The spookily empty open world of the first No More Heroes has made its return here, though it's now divided into multiple islands with the convenience of fast travel, and of course Travis can navigate them on his flashy Akira-style bike. It's an interesting decision to return to the structure of the first game, given this was one of the most criticized aspects of the experience. Here you rocket around the map and take part in designated matches, basically arena fights with various enemy types. From there you earn clout and grind money to enter a ranking battle. These are the main events of the Galactic Superheroes. And again, the minigames you'll need to play to earn enough to progress are routinely quite banal, though not in the pointedly awful way like the first game. But in a sense, this actually makes things worse because the sheer boredom of, say, the lawn mowing task in the first No More Heroes gave the intended satire a much sharper edge. The same task returns here, but it's been made smoother and faster. Overall just spruced up, which simply begs the question of, why didn't they just put something genuinely good in here instead? The game's structured in a breezy enough way, it's just repetitive, and at times you'll wish for a bit of a shake-up. It's an unusual halfway house between the original's arduous but artful progression and No More Heroes 2 pared back, super fun NES-style minigames. A side quest that sees you mining for currency via small, maze-like dungeons is sort of vaguely fun-ish, but there doesn't seem to be any point to it. You could perhaps argue that it's mining for coins akin to cryptocurrency, but why? The original game was confrontational, aggressive in its theming. No More Heroes 3 isn't. Unlike its predecessors, and even Travis Strikes Again, it's just a game. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, not in and of itself. Because the combat here is slicker and more enjoyable than ever. It helps that Switch can pump the combat sections out to a near damn-it locked 60 FPS. The open world is notably less smooth, but it doesn't matter as much as the on-foot battles, and thankfully these are a ceaselessly enjoyable experience. Enemy patterns are diverse, interesting, and challenging. Designated battles mix up the different foes in marvelously devious ways. This means you have to concentrate and switch targets with aplomb, even on the easier difficulty. Atop the usual suplexes, beam katana combos, spinning slot reels, and finishing blows, Travis has brought over the Death Glove from Travis Strikes Again, allowing him to use special new abilities such as a powerful dropkick, a floating turret, and a contextual time-slowing move. Special chips for the glove can be crafted back in Travis's apartment in Santa Destroy, and again this consolidates what was a time-consuming feature in the first game into a breezier effort here. All of the game's upgrade features are accessible in a single room. Another new feature is Travis's full armor mode, which sees him take to the skies and battle in deep space using a sort of Gundam-esque mecha suit. These battles are pretty simplistic, you just sort of hold down the ZR button to lock onto opponents and release the fire. But the game feel resembles the rather brilliant Zone of the Enders. It's a nice change of pace. It's all very visually striking, with garish effects and the series' trademark hyper-stylization present and correct. And as mentioned, the frame rate is rock solid during combat, although it does tank in the open world. The visuals are also lacking in sharpness, especially in handheld mode where things can look downright sludgy at times. It was never enough to pull us out of the game, but it can get pretty rough. Thanks to a thoroughly twisty, turny, quirky narrative, we found the game consistently compelling. Strictly no spoilers, but the story swerves more than an episode of WCW Monday Nitro, and in directions we never could have anticipated. And there's some excellent music to enjoy too. This theme rocks. Which brings us to the oh-so-sticky sticking point. No More Heroes and its sequel both got 9s from us, but for very different reasons. The original for its punk rock disregard of convention, its absolute dedication to its themes, its crystallized hot-blooded defiance. The sequel for its vastly improved action, superior quality of life touches, better and more frequent boss battles, though despite losing some of its resonance and identity in the process. This swaggering third entry has fantastic moments and it's bound to satisfy invested touchdown fans. But ultimately for us, it comes in third place. No More Heroes 3 has the faults of both of its mainline predecessors. It's a little more tedious than No More Heroes 2, and a little less meaningful than No More Heroes 1. It does make up for this though by being another inarguably impressive balls-to-the-wall carnage fest. A blood-splattered love letter to excess, and a Suda51 fan's wet dream splashed across the Switch. The story it tells is cool, the game it plays is cool. Neither of these crucial aspects reach the heights of the series' origins, but nobody who truly gets No More Heroes could be reasonably disappointed with the third entry. The joke's beginning to wear thin, but it's all in the telling, and Suda51 can still spin a very fine yarn. We here at Nintendo Life are giving No More Heroes 3 an 8 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this, let us know in the comments below, and of course go that subscribe button and slash it with your beam katana, and we'll see you next time. Bye everyone. But we're not done yet, because now it's time for a few of my thoughts. At the end of the day, I think this is a very tricky game to put a number on, because clearly there are flaws, and looking with a critical eye, there is a lot to take apart. The open worlds are very barren, and going around doing the same thing with the same jobs with the same battles, it does get repetitive. It feels like you're grinding to get to the main event, being the rank battles, and they are really fun. It's almost worth the grind with how fun they are, and there's points in No More Heroes 3 where it's just entertaining. The story's fun, the combat's fun, the character designs, they're fantastic. It's just bursting with style. There's anime openings and credits after each chapter, there's brilliant little splash screens. There's points where this game is just nothing but fun, and it starts really well too. But that formula doesn't quite carry the entire game. I guess you have to ask yourself if the moments of borderline tediousness are worth going through to get to the great parts. Fans of the first two games will probably be up for that, but newcomers, it's a bit harder to say. But I did walk away from this game feeling positive. It's rough around the edges, sure, but it gave me that diverse feeling that I haven't felt from a published game in a very long time. It's just something different, something without tons of alternatives. It's something worth experiencing.